Today on the Workplace Minute, new research is challenging one of the biggest assumptions about artificial intelligence, that smarter technology would make work easier, faster, and maybe even shorter. Let's break it down. According to a new academic study titled AI in the Extended Workday, Productivity, Contracting Efficiency, and the Distribution of Rents, the notion that AI and other advanced technology might make our jobs easier and our work-life balance better is being called into question. AI, including tools like ChatGPT, appears to be making us work more, not less. So what did the study find? The research team from Emory, Auburn, Fordham, and Seton Hall looked at nearly 20 years of U.S. time use data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics covering over 120,000 people between 2004 and 2023. And they compared how workers in different occupations were exposed to AI technologies, using data from AI patents and even how job descriptions overlapped with what AI tech can now do in the workplace. And their headline finding is simple but startling. Greater exposure to AI, whether from the ChatGPT shock in 2022 or broader AI developments, is linked to longer work hours and less leisure time. Let me say that again. AI exposure leads to more work and less leisure. Specifically, workers in AI-exposed occupations worked about 3.7 hours more per week after ChatGPT's release. And across the broader data set, the effect holds steady. Roughly 2 extra hours of work per week for those in jobs most affected by AI. And here's the kicker. That extra time doesn't come from productive rest or family time. It comes from a decline in non-screen leisure time, things like relaxing, socializing, or traveling. People didn't stop scrolling or streaming, they just stopped disconnecting. So why is this happening? The researchers outlined 3 big mechanisms driving this AI workday creep effect. And each one has implications for how we think about the future of work. First, higher productivity. AI makes people more effective, which sounds good, but it can also mean that managers and organizations expect more output per person. That new capacity raises the bar, and workers respond by working longer hours to meet these rising expectations. Second, AI-enabled monitoring. AI tools give companies better visibility into what employees are doing, especially in remote and hybrid work environments. And that data can make a performance evaluation more precise, but also more intrusive. So when your productivity metrics are constantly visible, the boundary issues between at work and off work get blurrier, and many people end up staying on longer. And third, bargaining power or the lack of it. In competitive labor markets where workers have less leverage, productivity gains from AI aren't necessarily shared. Instead, these gains flow to the firms and to the consumers, but not to the employees. The result, people work harder and longer, but the benefits don't show up in better work-life balance or even higher satisfaction. In fact, the researchers found that job satisfaction declined, particularly around work-life balance, even when wages went up. So yes, some workers were getting paid a bit more, but they're also getting more tired. For decades, the narrative around technology has been one of liberation for workers. We like to think that machines, automation, and now AI would free humans from tedious work and open space for creativity, rest, and meaning. This study flips that story on its head. It suggests that in practice, AI may not be freeing us from work, it's actually stretching the workday. And unlike previous industrial revolutions, this one doesn't just replace physical labor. It encroaches on our attention and our free time. It's a phenomenon we might call the invisible overtime of AI, when your productivity partner is also your quiet supervisor. So for HR and HRIT leaders, these findings raise some important questions. If AI makes people more productive, but also more trapped by their work, how do we prevent burnout and digital exhaustion? And if we deploy AI tools that increase monitoring and output, do we also have systems to protect employee downtime, recovery, and fairness? Workplace policies will need to evolve, not just to manage AI adoption, but to preserve the human rhythms of work. That could mean clearer boundaries around working hours, more transparent data policies, and redefining productivity metrics that don't reward always-on behavior. And for technology leaders, it's a reminder that efficiency doesn't equate to well-being. AI can make workflows smarter, but if it turns every job into an endless marathon interrupted by the occasional sprint, the long-term productivity gains could vanish. The authors of the study close with a simple but powerful idea. AI may be the first technology wave that blurs the line between work and life instead of expanding the space between them. It's a wake-up call for leaders, policymakers, and workers alike. Because the future of work won't just be about what AI can do, it will be about how much time we're willing to let it take away from us. That's it for the Workplace Minute today. Thanks so much for listening, and a big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting the Workplace Minute. If this episode made you think about how your organization is protecting the well-being of your teams, please share it with a colleague. I'm Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3 HR Advisors.